Hi there, welcome back to my strange channel. You can see the headline here behind Chris Laterreur. It is the story of Stranger Things. The new season is coming. The psychic children of Montauk, the MK Ultra lessons that psychic children were put through. Not all of them at their allowance. Some of them were taken, were kidnapped, were put into programs. And Chris Laterreur is one such child, now adult, telling surely the most important story of our time, surely covering MK Ultra and the children that survived it and what they did to those kids. Surely that is one of the most important stories, and we're here to break it down again. Welcome back, Chris Lauterer. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me on your show again.
Of course.
It's nice to
Uh,
meet you.
yeah, no, it's really good to see you, and you have my full support, and you know that I reached out to Laura Eisenhower. She's coming on my channel with you and JP because they were just out doing the walk at Camp Hero with Brad Olson, who's also coming on my channel, and then Dr. Michael Salla. It'd be great for you to connect with him, go on his channel because people need to be hearing this story. It is so, so important. And my friend
Yeah.
Tony Rodriguez is another one that went through programs. There's so many people that have gone through so many programs, and they cannot and will not stay buried. Now, with Stranger Things, the TV show coming out about these children, 11 and all these different things, give us some of the trainings that you give us a brief synopsis of how you even got recruited into the program. I know we've already covered that, but let's cover it again briefly. But tell us what kind of psychic programming and tests these people put you through.
Well, we were like a multitude of a training. Like I got recruited at 6 years old, like most of my friends that were in the project. And yeah, it was psychic abilities, getting in tune with ourselves. Like the part school a part was like really getting in tune with ourselves, a lot of knowledge. Half of the school was like the formation, and the other half was like regular school. So yeah, and we had in my case at some point I had to catch up during like a summer school because of the trainings and all, because it was demanding, so a lot of times. So, yeah.
What do you mean? Do you mean you had to do summer school for your regular school lessons because you fell behind in regular school? What do you mean?
Yeah, cause I was gone for a few weeks. At some point, I was gone for a month, to go and sleep. Like we were all in bunk beds, and we had headphones, and they were playing tapes, repetition for a month. Like we were drugged, and they were just coming to wake us up to go to the toilet, drink a bit, and
Okay.
go back to.
All right, let's break that down. What was the name of the school in Canada that you attended, the regular school? What was it called?
Well, it was a school called LDM. In those days, it changed of name now. But yeah, it was a school, an abandoned school that the CIA bought for $1. They had to refurbish it, and they also bought the little church in front as their undercover office. And it was used for the Monarch project mainly. There were a few regular students that were taken out of the class when people from the CIA were coming to do training.
Hmm.
So
All right. So the school was, what town was it in? It was called LDM. What town?
yeah, I don't want to name the town because
Okay. I'm
but
sorry. That's okay. No problem.
but
All right. But let's go with
yeah,
the
the
CIA.
Great Montreal area. So
Yeah, Montreal, French Canada.
yeah.
Where did that you said the CIA came in, they bought the school for $1 and then they had to refurbish it. And they bought the
Yeah.
church across the street as their office and their kind of front, they were fronting something. So, and you were 6 years old and children were taken, and we weren't sure whether your mum knew or not. Sometimes maybe she did, sometimes maybe she didn't. But your mum was also working with the police, wasn't she?
Yeah, yeah, she was working in the same office as them, so she was co-worker with them, so she trusted them, and it sounded nice, a lot of money, and so
Mhm. So when you said you were taken away for 1 month, with other children in bunk beds and they did testing
Yeah.
on you. Where were you taken to? Do you know?
Oh yeah, like it's another school behind another school, we'll call it. It's in my. This is in my book, but yeah, like there's a building, and like they were like making us even assemble like the beds for younger group after like when we were a bit older. Like even my friend remember like because we had to transport those bunk beds, and like so.
You had to transport the bunk beds to get them ready for younger children coming into the program.
Yeah, yeah. So like
Okay. So and you can't say the town of where this other school was where you were taking for 1 month training.
yeah, well, it's in the Oka area, so
The
yeah.
Oka area. Okay. So was it boys and girls in the bunk beds all in the same room, or was it just
No,
little boys?
all
How
boys, and
all
like
boys?
we all had a pair of headphones, and like yeah, like people were checking us and like waking us one at a time to bring us to the toilet, and more drugs to sleep like for a month, like and like those tapes that were playing had no like weren't making any sense. It was like just like parts of sentence, or like like so yeah, just repetition, 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 like so yeah.
So was it male and female voices that they're kind of programming you with in headphones while you're sleeping? Is there music? Is there dit dit dot
No,
dot?
it was
Like what?
just voice, like, and like as I remember, it was a man that was talking, and like just like
Hmm.
saying nothing that was making any sense, like
Hmm.
so.
Well, as an adult now that's gone through these horrific, torturous training programs on little boys whose brains aren't even fully developed, what does your adult, and you're a father too now, so what does your adult self, how do you make that work? How does that make sense to you?
Um, well, I have to like kind of like put this in the because they compartmentalize all my memories, and also like I have to put those in the file that I don't go back there too much because like it's overwhelming on your life, on your
Yeah.
daily life, like
I know, and I
when
do
you start.
appreciate you. I hope you don't mind me probing too much. I know I'm kind of
No,
being
that's
kind of
okay.
break it down so we can, help you get this information out.
Yeah,
Let me ask you another way. So when I was at school, like many of the children who were taken into programs, you often hear that either the brightest children, the gifted children, or there'll be the lower end, what's considered lower end, which is really unkind, like autistic, remedial, retarded, etc. Horrible words,
yeah,
but words that have been used nonetheless over these decades. Doesn't seem to be the kind of average kids in the middle. So when I was at school, every kid would get tested. We'd have headphones. They'd be testing your hearing, making sounds to see whether you could hear. You'd be looking at shapes to say what that was psychologically. I mean, so was it kind of like that, like normal standard testing?
yeah. But those ear tests were done on once or twice a week during the main formation. They were getting us used to a certain tonality that we fall on neutral, and we take orders. So like it's a ultra low frequency, and like and they that's how they get us used like for years to that tonality. So
So
yeah,
it's a neutral tonality. And what
yeah, super low, ultra low frequency,
ultra low
and
frequency?
like yeah.
And what do you think was the purpose of it? You and these other little boys. How old were you?
Well, I was 6 when we started the project, and the
Yeah.
main formation lasted 6 years. So uh, yeah, like I was around 11, 12, like when the main formation finished, and after like they were coming to pick me up for certain tests, like at school or whatever, and like bringing me to do tests, different tests.
Hmm.
But
In the show
Mhm.
Stranger Things, we see the young girl, Millie Bobby Brown, with her very shaved head and her, kind of uniform, sitting in front of a table with a Coke can and almost crushing it or using her mind
Yeah.
to, affect. Do you remember doing anything like this?
Yeah, like they were practicing us to like telekinesis, trying to bend spoons, stuff like that. Uh, One of the things that was super cool in that course of telekinesis, uh, there were a pan of water and there were like a little boat floating on it, and we had to one by one like fixate it and like make it move. So it was going, but pretty hectic, one by one, slowly, And we did the test all together, and like, so yeah, there's cool stuff in this, when you practice, and like they have the best of the best, for every field they're coming to show us. So uh, yeah, I learned a lot of stuff through a lot of cool stuff.
Hmm.
That's for sure. But yeah, there's a balance in everything, eh? Well, the cool stuff was extremely cool, and the tortures were extremely bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you met Tony Rodriguez yet?
no,
Oh, I love him. He's a good friend of mine. He's spoken at every single conference I've ever done. He's such a beautiful man, and he shares when he was kidnapped by the American military, and he was put into a child torture program called Project Grill Flame. And what was great, I was telling someone today, because I'm so anal about physical evidence, because that's one of my expertise in this field of disclosure. My own experiences with aliens, angels, and demons and paranormal, but also bringing other people's stories, because obviously there are people that tell a story that's actually not theirs. It could be a screen memory, but everyone's been through something. And I was saying about how Tony Rodriguez remembered the name of the program he was in, and then years later actually found the physical evidence. CIA, FBI documents. And that's the kind of thing obviously we look for. Like what you've got behind you, your sworn CIA statement, your paper there.
yeah,
But one of the stories
mhm,
that sadly, one of the experiences that Tony shares is when him and other children, all little boys and one little girl, where they were sat on a seat that was on a chain from the ceiling. They couldn't see each other. They were like in an enclosed seat. They had motorcycle helmets on with electrodes, and the electrodes were wired up. Then the children would be watching Psycho, stabbing scene in the shower, Cinderella, Bambi, Dumbo, and all this real flashing, flashing.
mhm.
And then the children would get electrocuted at the same time. And he went through that many, many times. Did you, not to dig for awful, salacious information, but to bring balance to this subject, which we must share? Can you tell us some of the,
This
situations?
sounds a bit like the test they would do because I went through similar stuff. In my case, the first appointment I had, we had to watch them in a machine, and they were passing like a war image, adult scenes, murder scenes, family cut in pieces, and all through different lands of color, and repetition all the time also. So, and a lot of German images, those nuclear blasts, and you were seeing and yeah, they were getting us used to and this I'm talking I was six, the first appointment. So yeah, um,
Mhm, mhm. So can you
so
remember
that's
how, yeah, can you remember how old you were when you were taken away for 1 month?
um, probably around nine, something like that, like nine, 10, something like that, I think.
Mm. And
Yeah.
and how do you know it was 1 month?
Because we had to prepare a bag, and we had a sheet of stuff like that we had to bring like for that month, like and yeah,
Hmm. And
was
did your mom and dad come and see you?
no, 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 like that was like just the people from the CIA that were coming like between to wake us up and like
Mm-hmm. It's almost like they were training you to be little psychic soldiers or spies, or these are the things that obviously the mind leads to
yeah,
wonder that question. What do you think they were doing with you?
yeah, like for sure, and like all those tests with the LSD, like the to get in tune with herself, the water deprivation tank, like it was like a gasket, and like we were laying in it, like it was full of water, and they were strapping her head, and like we had like probably an inch to like breathe. But as soon as they were closing the cover, it was really dark in there, like and something was splashing water, so like, it was waterboarding us, and like and we were locked up in that casket, and we had to go through astral projection, and like in my case, like I had to go get two words that my cop handler was holding on his chest in another school, and like that I had to read those words and like say them, and that he would the machine would stop splashing. So that's why I got sent to Montauk because I managed to pass that one.
Yeah.
Like I was the only one that did it because it
Mhm.
was that was hard. Like
Wow. So just
we were
again,
all getting out of those gaskets because there were two gaskets, and like everyone was getting out of there crying, and like they were there. Ah, stop, stop, stop! Like like they didn't give.
yeah.
They were rough with us. So
Yeah,
uh,
so bad.
yeah.
It's so bad. Those you poor little boys, it's just unthinkable how fracked and how traumatized you must have all been. And I'm sure some haven't recovered. I know that you've been on a long healing journey, but you're still in touch with some of these school friends, aren't you?
Oh yeah, like yeah, I mean, my friends from all my life, like a bunch of them are dead now, but like I got a bunch still alive.
Most of them are dead now. Most of the children that went through the program
Oh
with you.
yeah, yeah, like a lot of like people that off themselves because of like one of my main like the one that I was always twinned with, like yeah, he was, and it's weird because like his alias was Pedro de Montoyo, like
Pardon?
demon to you, okay,
Say that again,
like
please.
Pedro de Montoyo. So like that was like the alias he had. I had Duncan Cameron, he had Pedro de Montoyo,
Okay,
and
thank you. Let's stop there a second so we can get people to catch up. So you had a fake name and it was Duncan Cameron. And you have been written about in Montauk books, okay? Because you are that child that was known as Duncan Cameron. And your friend that you're saying who died, he was known as Pedro
Montoya, because he looked a bit like a
Di.
Mexican. He had like a darker skin a bit.
Okay, so
So
Pedro Di
and he was
Montejo.
yeah, Pedro de Montoya, and those were the names. If we were being interrogated at Montauk, we had to give those names. So, but yeah, like at some point in his life, like very not long after Montauk, he had like he was saying that he was having demons that were following him everywhere and all, and yeah, like all those ritual and so
Oh, baby.
yeah.
Oh, baby. Gosh, when you were going, and again, thank you. It's such a sensitive subject, and you do very well. You really do. This is like our third meeting now between the two of us. So I know you've learned to trust me and that's important, but I still want to be mindful and careful, going back here and there. And of course, you'll just put your finger up if you need to stop and we'll just pause. But you were saying there were two waterboarding coffins or caskets that you and another
Yeah,
child was put in at the same time.
yeah.
What was the point of two of you being tortured at the same time, do you think?
Um, I don't know. That was a day. Actually, I met one of my buddies that day, like for the first time, and like we're still buddies today. And another of my buddy, like Eric, was there too. So that's the first time like we're all three together, like for that we. So yeah, and we were in the middle of summer. It was done in an handicap school. Um, we all had pools, so like they remember all this, but they don't know why they would be there in the middle of summer. We all had pools. They don't know like because they didn't go to the regression hypnose and also they're still dealing with the frame of thought but they're remembering a bunch of stuff like so much. Um, they're
Okay.
like
So
five
you
or six appointments each.
So you just said that those two boys didn't go through the regression hypnosis. You call it
Yeah,
hypnosis. And the
yeah,
other word people need to attune to is when you say my cop handler, because you say my cop handler,
yeah.
it sounds different. So you're saying cop handler, who was a cop, who was your handler. Um, so why didn't those little boys go through the regression and the hypnosis to help clear? Because you were put through those exercises, weren't you?
Uh, oh yeah, but that's just like in my adult life, like the regression to get back those memories, because like it was getting overwhelming on my life. They couldn't because they were still locked up in jail. Because we all got set up, uh, when I started remembering and asking questions, like they didn't take any chance. So
Hmm.
that's why they didn't have the chance to go through all those. But we talked together and they remember so much. They're kind of scared of like thinking of this because like they know,
Hmm. You think,
it brings like bad memories. It's like,
oh, yeah, of
you
course.
gotta be in a good state of mind to like start playing those memories because
Hmm.
yeah, it can be like hard and heavy on you.
Yeah.
Even if like you have you're a tough guy and all
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, when the little boy is broken or the little girl is broken, the adult man, the big giant body, that part of that child is still broken. That's our job in life is to heal that inner child. Children who've gone through torture like you have and they have, it is such a hard journey. There's signature markers, there's things, we all go through things in life. I have a way of regulating myself. I had a big party here. Somebody got engaged in my family, and so I threw a party, a lunch party, and I cooked for everyone. And I'm a shit cook. I'm terrible, but it worked out good. Was so lucky it worked out good. But I was walking around and I was doing this to regulate. And my sister and my mum at different points they said, "What's wrong with you? What's the matter?" And I'm like, I'm de-stressing, I'm deregulating because we learn ways to help ourselves, regulate our emotions. So were there any kind of specific things that you do or did or were taught to do that help you calm down?
Mm. Mid-station, just like take time for myself and yeah, kind of have like a alarm that when I go down, to stop at some point because I know my kind of limits and also like I know where to when I down I gotta go and charge my battery, like cuddle my dogs or like do something nice and just change my mind a bit and
Hmm.
because as much as I want to help people and expose this, I don't want to spend my life in my past. I want to see the future because yeah, I live like 200 miles an hour, but at 200 miles an hour, you don't see the scenery and you don't taste it. You don't, because it's so much all the time.
Mm.
So
Yeah, bless
yeah, like I just wanna like like live a bit like I had a like 15 years ago I was doing great in life like like first franchise was open like, and all like I bought like the other store and all that like like but I didn't know that the guy got taken out too like so
what guy?
yeah
What
so
guy got what guy got
the
taken
guy
out?
that had the store
Okay. Yeah.
the guy that had the store so like yeah like it's
Hmm.
all
I know you lost everything. You were a multimillionaire and you lost everything, but that was the men coming back in to screw things up for you, wasn't it? Destroy your life.
yeah
Hmm.
yeah and like they were at the same time they were attacking me from everywhere like every angle of my life as soon as I started asking questions about those tests and the at the done at the Allen Memorial so yeah like and like they arrested me they arrested all my friends they tried to kill us so yeah like,
Yeah, I know it's so much. But again, I commending your bravery for coming forward because now that you have, it's too late. It's out there. We're all seeing you. We're all finding you. We're bringing you on our channels. We're taking care of you. We're making sure that you're heard. And it'll encourage other people to come forward with their true testimony too. And the thing is that the documents are out there. There's so many CIA documents, and they've had to reveal some of the psyops, like the word Jedi. The word Jedi is a deliberate psyop. So when you hear that word, you know there's a psyop or psychological operation, manipulation, because Jedis don't exist. They're a fantasy, and there are other things. The Galactic Federation of Light was. I saw the document, another document. With that, there was another trying to push people and mock them for being New Age and all the rest of it. But I'm stepping back to the waterboarding, but the incredible ability, even though you were at near death, that you were able to travel to the target, which was your cop handler, who was wearing words on his chest. Do you remember
yeah
what
it
they
was
were?
holding
Oh,
it
holding the
was
words. Okay. What was,
yeah
do you remember what they were?
propaganda and constitutional
Oh my God.
those two words
Big words for a little boy, huh?
yeah
So you
and like
signaled, yeah, you signaled that you remembered them and they obviously let you out of
yeah
the tank.
yeah and they were like like thumbs up like their thing worked 'cause that was hard like to leave the but I was practicing a lot, like the astral projection. So like I was kind of ready when I got to that test, and like that's why I got sent to Montauk. And by the way, like my book is not only a book; it's a legal document. First of all, it's my statement for the action class against the Allen Memorial Hospital that I have prepared, and like it's a legal document that anybody can use anywhere in the world in court to compare, like, because I'm a CIA asset, my credentials are there and all. Like, anybody can, like, oh, yeah, they're going to court. Yeah, like here, there's that. That's a legal statement. It's a sworn statement. Um, like anybody that want to compare their case in court or whatever, like, look, this CIA asset here. That's this. So that's the first legal document on Montauk, what happened there and all, and like that it's the only one, the only legal document on that thing.
It's
So
fantastic. No, it's fantastic what you've done, what you've managed to achieve, which is why we need to, and I'm urging other people that do broadcasts or podcasts, I don't know why people call it the other, but to invite you on their channel to help support you and other survivors of these mind control, because people think it's an isolated, individuated time, in the 80s and early 90s, for example. But it's en masse now. It's global now. Everyone's being MK Ultra. So we got to go back to the source and reveal everything. And of course, it's too late to stop the information. None of us are going to stop the information coming out. Um, that when you were able to see the words propaganda and constitution and they're like, yay, this, Duncan Cameron here, or, Chris Lotterer, your real name, very bright little boy. What were the steps taken to move you from your home in Canada to Montauk in New York? Or is it on Long
Well,
Island?
yeah, well, we finished like we had to stay in the pool for a few hours. We couldn't st talk together. There were a few parents at the pool that were checking us, but when we could leave, me, Martin, and Eric left together. And as we were leaving, my cop handler was arriving with his car, and like he just thumbs up because like I did it. So they all remember this, like when we were leaving, you know. So yeah, from there I had an appointment with Jack, my other handler, in another school with my mom, and like that's where he was talking about the Montauk Camp Hero, like that. It was like usually it was older kid that was going there, but like I did so good and all, and there's a magical chair that makes appear anything you want, and making this like and like Camp Hero. I thought they were building heroes there. You know, I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to go, like you know. So fuck me, like that was the. So like you know like from there like all motivated he tells me like go and wait at that corner of the street for what that time like so my cop handler picks me up. My buddy Steve was already in the car, and from there we went and picked up Stuart, and after from there we went and picked up Michelle, and like after we went from Michelle to Montauk, like 6 hour drive. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's how I got brought to Montauk, like because of that the two gasket, the water deprivation test. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
Wow. One of the things that we were going to cover more information on from our last broadcast, the first broadcast, because this is our third one, because the one that's before this one right now is the one we did with Shanti and Dr. Julia Engel, another survivor, and from de 2 decades ahead of
yeah,
you. She was the first round of children in the first MK Ultra CIA programs. And so we all got together because Shanti, who runs Aquarius Africa Rising, that great YouTube channel, and she's based in South Africa, and we're friends. And as friends, we're here for disclosure. So we share each other's guests to help all the guests to help each other to double and maximize the audience, which is what others should be doing if they really do want to
yeah,
stand true for disclosure and helping people. But in the first episode we did together,
yeah,
you were sharing that when you were in the second Montauk chair, because you said the first chair is regular, normal metal kind of, the second chair is the beach chair that's metal that you were laying on, and you were telling us that some of the astral travel was through a purple portal. Remember?
yeah, yeah.
So can you tell us, um, how did the purple portal get there? What was it? And what did you do in order to be able to go through it? Take your time.
Okay. Well, the chair, the main chair was like in the radar building, like and there were separating rooms with like kind of tarps in the basement. Okay, and that purple portal was on a medical, like you know those lamps that you adjust, like for dentists or stuff like that. It was a kind of on an arm like that, and they were putting it in front of you, like straight in front of you while you were sitting on the chair. So and like that was like a mirror kind of thing almost, but like purple, watery look, and yeah, like the effect that was special because like you were like as soon as you were looking at it, it was kind of like a feeling of pulling you into it um, through astral projection. So like this was like really easy. So like I think like the kids that had trouble leaving in astral projection didn't have trouble with this because that was like really to simplify the thing. I think I don't know. So but yeah, they
Mhm.
were sending us through time, through space, through we were kind of used to map everything. They were sending us to explore and kind of if we don't come back, we don't come back. That's a bit the way they were thinking because uh, it, like we couldn't go too far like at home and all, but like once there, yeah, and like they were supposed to guide us, but at some point I woke up from a mega astral projection, and yeah, he wasn't there. I could have died.
Mhm. So to be clear, you're saying that the handler that would have stood next to you,
Yeah,
was he talking you into meditation and trance? Were you also on drugs? And then that guidance was eliciting the right environment for you to astral travel. But then when you're out on a journey out of your body, you're supposed to be talked safely back in, right? That's what you're saying.
yeah, because some kids were coming back to trying to come back and they weren't finding themselves and the body was empty after they were dead. So um that's the main fear from the beginning of when they taught us how to do astral projection. Don't go too far, uh I think that's the only fear they were really pushing you know like this and not to talk because they were making us do that sign almost every day at school. And so
What do you mean?
yeah,
What do you mean with the sign?
like Masonic sign, so yeah.
What do you mean the teachers are walking
So
around looking at you little boys and doing that, like threatening to kill you? Is that what you're saying?
the class,
Or you
yeah, the boy and girls too, in the class, that was in the class, almost like a prayer. So
hmm
yeah.
Goodness me. Oh gosh, it's so terrible, isn't it, to think of those little lost souls. When you say they would tell you not to go too far, can you kind of explain more about how you were taken into the right environment in your mind? And where would they invite you to go on your astral travel?
That time, the 12 August 1983, they sent me to open my gateway. Um, Jack was saying that everybody had a gateway, but it's not everybody that had the chance to go and open it. That I was so special, and just because I was kind of a shaky, cold, I was a week in a cage, underwear, soak wet, I got beaten, I got to wake up with kicks, I got, trauma, I saw stuff there that I don't talk about, I'll probably never talk about, but
Mm.
like uh not the common things that you see in life,
Well, no, no little boy, no child should see what you saw. Children in cages being, losing their little lives. And no, it's just horrendous. It's so satanic too. When I've had other, people on my channel, they weren't in that specific program, but they went through those things. There's a uniformity that occurs. And when we were talking with Dr. Julia Engel the other day, we were confirming that 20 years before you were put into a program, she was in the first one, and there were always a nanny black, which was generally a man. There was a Dr. Green, there was a Dr. White, and you also confirmed that that was the case with you, that you remember Dr. White and Dr. Green, don't you?
I had Dr. Green, like Dr. White. Uh, there were a lot of doctors that were coming. Like sometimes they were making us like lay on a table and fix a lamp, like a medical lamp, and like till like we had to fixate it till like we don't see nothing. And after like those doctors were coming in the around the table and stuff, and like so like we didn't see who was around us like a lot of the times. Um, yeah, it was
Hmm.
yeah, they were taking protections and all like
Mm.
for this.
Hmm. Did you
Yeah.
say that when you were sitting in the second Montauk chair, that were you told it came
Well, me, I was in the always in the same like the main one. Like there were a second one that like with a little computer screen, the same like computer screen as the as on the long one.
Well, hang on, go back a bit here because there'll be people and
Second
your
chip.
internet keeps freezing, Chris. Of course it does. All right, let's talk again about the two chairs. Now, were you told that these chairs were high
Mhm.
technology from the Roswell crash? Can you explain that to us? You froze again, mate.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. Happens
Yeah.
every time. It happens every time.
So yeah, that was like technology from supposedly like the Roswell thing.
Oh dear.
I hope.
Now
Do
you've
you
gone
hear me?
back. Like, hello. Now you've
Hold
disappeared.
on.
You've disappeared. It's all right. We'll just take our time. Even if you want to talk,
You're frozen. I don't.
there you
Okay.
go. We can. All right. So you were told that the two chairs that were used for the children to do astral travel and other experiments were from a crashed UFO. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
From Roswell and this was the technology that was making appear like the stuff we wanted, like like um that Jack was talking about, like before sending me there. So like I was expecting like but yeah, I went a few times at Montauk actually, but those other times I was brought directly. Jack was picking me up like home with his black BMW and the tan interior. Like we were doing the ride, like we were going through the acid house and like directly, and like after he was bringing me through the radar building down the to the chair. Another time I went also with the school on a field trip, and they made us wait in a room that were like a few chairs, like a blue and a yellow one. I found a picture of that room. So
wow,
like it's in my book. I
wow.
was sitting on those chairs that like is on the picture. Like like you could take my prints out of
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your
so
DNA swabbing. That's what you're saying, right?
uh
You froze again then. Yeah, it's okay. It's like Tony Rodriguez when him and the other children who were kidnapped.
sorry?
Can you hear me? Okay, I'll just keep talking until you unfreeze it. When Tony Rodriguez was put into the wooden cabins with the other children, the people that abandoned the
Hold on a minute.
project.
I'm trying something.
Okay, don't. I'll just keep yakking. I'm talking about Tony Rodriguez, and the DNA samples still would have been in these cabins where the children were kept because how arrogant these people are. These agency people, they abandoned the cabins at the same airport in California, in Yokern Airport, and Tony went there a couple of years ago to see whether it was real. And the cabins were there, and he had such a breakdown. He couldn't believe it, seeing where him and other children were kept and tortured in these programs. So, yeah, it's just incredible. All right, so let's have another try at you telling us the metal and what the two chairs looked like, please, and what it felt like to sit in them.
Yeah, the chair was stainless steel, long legs like a beach chair, and yeah, I remember like I was so cold, like like I had trouble. So they brought me like a top of a hospital again, and like just to put between me and the my skin and the stainless, and like installing me all the setup on me and all, and yeah, like that was, and like the last time the hat wasn't the same. It was like a bit like an fishing net or something like that. Like usually it was a white hat, cotton type, and like they were, but like Preston was saying that they didn't have any more of those, so like that was the same thing. Like because I was used at the last time, like the last time, like when all this happened at Montauk, like I think it was my fourth or fifth time I was on the chair. I was going there for hours, like almost spending the day on it, like like. They were like putting a catheter on me. I was peeing in the catheter, like like I was going there for like so. Yeah, that's the
Wow, they put a catheter so you could just pee without getting off the table. So,
yeah, yeah,
so were you completely naked apart from the hospital gown that was protecting you from the cold?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, so you're there. That's the situation that you're in. And you've got some kind of white cotton hat. Did it have electrodes in it? What was the point of the white cotton hat?
He was putting electrodes on it, like the white hat, like same thing as the net. Like they were putting electrodes everywhere on my head, on my body, like a thing also on my finger. Yeah, like I was hooked from everywhere, like like it was uh, yeah, pretty like the setup and like it was cool. Like you were at that point, that was the cool part of Montauk. But like if you made it out alive, like 'cause yeah, like
Mhm. Bless your heart.
that
When we come back on my channel with Laura Eisenhower and JP, like in the next week, we're going to show some of the video that they took, that they just took at Montauk.
yeah.
And so I might send it to you beforehand again so you can prepare.
Yeah.
Because how do you feel when you hear that you're going to see, like it's only the outside, nobody got to go inside, but they walked around the perimeter. Do you think that could be triggering for you? Do you think you'll be
No,
okay?
I got some nice shots actually from Brian Mimic that I some of them are in the book, and yeah, like I recognize some of the stuff, the cage also, like, cause the cage weren't like like a regular cell, or there were like kind of like a separation of like fencing, and they were putting like a gate of fencing in front of us, so we could have got out, but somebody was checking us, like yeah, so like and like when we were talking and all, like there were like a kid that was watching and like snitching what we were doing when the soldiers weren't like doing their run, and like but yeah, the soldiers like were. This is like I think the thing, like like to hear them like coming from far, and like like the and laugh and laugh, and you just hear the laughing like stronger and stronger, and you just fucking like you were just hoping that like they weren't coming for you. And I remember me my cage, there were super slope in it, kind of like a big angle. So like I was always against the metal fencing. I was just freezing and like shivering, like and I was scared of turning my head and looking in front of me, like because like there were a kid that was hanged up like by a foot and draining of his in a pan, like tuk tuk tuk. So like fuck, like you.
It's just unimaginable.
Like that kid was my age, like, and yeah, like I was just scared, and that's something, like I had trouble talking about. I was talking about this like at the beginning, and I was just crying, like yes,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure you were, my love. I'm sure you were. And it isn't that you get kind of just neutral. You just learn to cope. You learn to have less of an emotional charge because you have to. You have to. It's awful.
Have to separate from this,
Yeah, but you don't
look
want
at
to
it
just.
from a bigger picture and just put a kind of a there's a goal to it. It's I'm doing this for a reason. Kind of align my because sometimes yeah, you don't want to go back and think about
Mhm.
that place. Like it's the place you want to fucking forget in your life. But
Yeah,
people have to know, we have to fucking avoid this to other kids. So people that are part of the project, please, fucking unite and my story is the key to fucking open the door to have everybody fucking listening to us.
yeah,
Please prioritize, I invest in my life there. So please, take it in consideration before blah 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 because
mhm,
I'm busy now, but those blah blah blah, I'll get to them after. So
mhm. I know. I know people, just can't help themselves sometimes. And there's so much infiltration and separation. And, that
uh,
there's people I've been kept from, good people, because, there's an agenda to separate everybody and cuckold and keep people away. And we all have to come together. We all have to grow,
targeting
grow
team,
up.
just discrediting or
Yes.
trying to put zizanie and everything, yeah, that's true. And in my case, my story is so important. So imagine the team I have on my ass. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said to you, I've introduced you to Laura Eisenhower and Dr. Michael Sala, who have their channels are twice the size of mine. And so we invite anyone else out there with a heart for truth to help Chris get his story out, to also protect other children, help healing with adults who have survived. And this can never ever happen again. These illegal programs that came over from World War II with Mengele and the Nazi experiments, this is the root cause, we're told, certainly in this last 70, 80 years, of why and how and even the thinking behind it. And to create psychic spies, for example, like
yeah,
astral traveling, leaving the body, because we're energy, and it's just, learning that and attuning to that. If there were other people around you that have gone through the same as you, of course,
yeah.
delighted to.
I have a lot of friends. I spend my life around around surrounded by those people and we're all watching one another kind of thing, eh? So
Hmm, hmm, yeah,
and
yeah,
a
together.
lot of are aware and are watching me or following me and all and
Mm,
they will come out when the time is, but
yeah, yeah.
they traumatize us so much with the killing, the people we and all the stuff we did in our life and all. So you gotta be
Mhm.
fucking nuts to do what I'm doing. But yeah, they train me to be fucking nuts like that and not give a fucking face army if I need to. So here
Mhm. Yeah, bless.
here we are.
Yeah. One quick question that keeps coming to me is with the Roswell crash, which was a UFO that apparently crashed in a place called Roswell, where they said there may be one or two little gray ETs that potentially survived. There was a book written by somebody called Lawrence who recently died. It was called Alien Interview. I read it. I was asked to read the energy of it because they were trying to make a film of it, and the film just wasn't getting made. It never got made to this day, and it was a massive producer with like a George Lucas, like a big producer, and his daughter approached me and asked me to use my skills to figure out why this frequency energy, like what was happening. And when I read the book, energetically touched it, held it to me, went in, did the things that I've been trained to do. I said to her, my God, there is an overlay, there is a structured religious overlay all through this book. She said to me, you're not going to believe this. She'd given the book to someone else to read, And that person had called it that day and said, I have to tell you that that book has the complete blueprint of Scientology written all the way through it. And it's like, seriously, we have this opportunity to share this story about Roswell and two little ETs, right? And yet somebody still had to come and mind control the whole experience, right? But my question to you is this. If it's true, and those little ETs came from that craft, and those two chairs came from that craft, how big were the chairs?
Well, there were still like really the size of a beach chair kind of thing, but like it was like higher. There were tanks also in the back, um, air. I don't know, or gas, or I don't know, but yeah, probably mixing in the mass like with the flour or like the vapors. So
Okay, so you're saying that the beach chair and the other chair from the craft were adult size. They weren't little kind of doll size, like,
yeah, no, they were adult size. Like I think it's the chair were probably human. It's like the technology that was like used on those that
okay.
was
Okay. So maybe we're missing some crucial information between because why would they have adult size, human sized chairs on an ET craft with little gray, they call them the doll bodies, a little
yeah.
tiny doll. That doesn't make sense, does
So
it?
like I think it's the technology because to be able to like read what we were our thoughts, what we're thinking about, and like reproduce it as an hologram.
Mm.
Uh, I'm not sure that we were there in 80 like so.
Yeah. And were the tanks attached to the beach chair or just around it to put the mask on your face?
No, in the back, it was like a big oxygen tank or something like that in the back, or
Okay.
so
Okay.
that was on the floor, but the chair was kind of on a higher. There were kind of a gap, it wasn't like a full like a block, there were kind of a base. So
Mm. It's so
and this was like 30 feet from the red elevator, like in the basement of the radar tower. And like there were a wall of breaker right in front of the chair.
a wall of breakers right in front of the chair, and there was a
Yeah.
red elevator inside the radar.
That was on the left side, probably like a bit angled, probably like that from where I was. So yeah, and that was and a set of stairs next.
Mm. When you would drive into the Camp Hero, near the big brick building, and you went inside, how long did it take to get down to the basement? Do you know how many floors down it
Oh,
was?
like the people that say there's 20 floors and blah blah blah. I don't remember that. I probably didn't visit all the place. Like I was just brought through like the acid house, like I said, or one time through the school field trip. So yeah, and like the other time, like through the tunnels, like everybody else. But like through the tunnels, like everybody else, that was a nightmare. Christopher Garitano actually did a good job, on Montauk Chronicle, reproducing like so many details and the darkness of the place that shocking, like for me to see this. And the funny thing, I saw this on the 39th year anniversary. So like, paf, TV's on shuffle, and like this starts. And I recognize the place and all because I was remembering a bunch of MK Ultra. I was already processing all this. I went through the regression hypnose and all. But when I saw like all the details, it's like they made this for me to remember. Like it was shocking, and to because I remember mainly like when I got out of there and like when I got to my house and my mom was so like yelling after my cop handler and he didn't know what to say. He was just saying that she was lucky because he didn't know where the other went. Uh, like uh, that Jack would come and see us. Like he didn't know what to say. He got there like that. Like they were getting the kids out in the trucks. Yeah, so I'm putting myself at his place. Like the alarm pinging. Like people are all like. So yeah, like he really didn't know what to say to my mom.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say? Oh, yeah, sorry, your son conjured some monsters that came through one of the portals and they ripped open the whole environment and all the alarms went off and adults were killed by these monsters that your little
Yeah.
boy managed to bring through a portal created by his imagination. I mean, that still is just
Yeah,
incredible. I
what
mean,
an acid trip.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my God.
but yeah, and like they're like people are thinking, yeah, they were getting drugged. Like, no, they were drugging us to an extreme to make us bad buzz. Like that's the like it's nice to have like a buzz of LSD, you laugh and all, but like through the acid house. But when it's like to be like scared and like traumatized on LSD, this is reaching an extreme peak, like he's. I'm sure a lot of kids died of fear, just like from like them like putting a mask and like that.
Oh,
Like you're a small kid, and you don't know if it's gonna be for like the waterboarding. You don't know if it's gonna be to get kicked, to get like raped, and like you don't want to see them, so and like they just come and scare you,
mhm. You know,
the it was like really evil,
mm. With Dr. Juliet Engel, who, of course, you've met now, we did a broadcast together recently. She's one of the first children in the program. She was put in a program called the Sex Magic Program, where she would
yeah,
throw her energy and project thought into these filthy, dirty pedos. And it was down in a San Diego area where I lived. I lived there. I lived on the island of Coronado for years, and it's surrounded by nuclear submarines and Chinook helicopters and battleships, warships, hospital ships. It's all there in the docks and the bays and the harbour and over to Coronado, where the big part of the air base is, air, sea, and land base is. Oh, and she would be drugged with other little girls. And these awful, hideous soldiers, sailors, soldiers, Navy personnel, grown men would harm these little girls, and they knew which ones they could take out, they could unalive, and of course they did. Juliet had an upside down satanic cross on her forehead, so she was not allowed to be taken out, but she was adrenochromed to the extent where she actually had a ton of tumors where they had the cannula in her little face so many times. So it's not, you may get selected to not be totally unalive by one of these these monsters, awful pigs. But just a thought, like you say, of the little girls, and there are men, grown men, blocking the doors from these little children while their friends enjoy them. I mean, that kind of psychotic behavior has happened, happens. And again, we must and will draw attention to it because maybe there's someone that's done this to children who potentially regrets, has a heart, and is quite prepared to come forward and validate, right?
don't think any one of them will come out because like it was so evil the way it was done. There's that the way to do this, that's already super gross. But like when people are on LSD, it's not the same game. Like it's the extreme, and like that place was extreme. Like the more you were extreme, the more you were respected. So like they were fucking nuts.
Mm,
Yeah, the soldiers that were laughing and like walking and bringing us and torturing us and those guys, I hope the monsters got them.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like I fucking hope.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no, you're justified.
mm,
Absolutely. Let's give people a bit more help here with the Allen Memorial Hospital, where you
yeah,
did a case, you sued them. And in this book, this is
yeah.
the book behind you. So tell us a little bit more about the book, what the legal document is, and why you did this. How is this going to help other people?
Well, me, it's because like the action class is like I have a file there, so like I send, but it's not the same years as mine because like they're dealing with the UN Cameron, like they're still at the stage that oh like MK Ultra stopped in '73, so like but I have like even a paper from the government that they messed up and they sent me my asset number on it. You know, and that's like everybody has those paper each year, like, but nobody has like those lot number, that lot or assets. So yeah, and so they called me to destroy that paper. Yeah, sure. I left with it and I made like a bunch of copy. So like
Good.
so that's probably the only paper proof on MK Ultra,
Uh,
like from the government. So anyway, uh, I'm still waiting for updates on this because it's still going on. The action class is still on. I'm trying to put like a bunch because I have so many people that are like that went through it, and uh, so
yeah.
yeah, like we're still like the document is ready. The lawyer has it and all like in his hands. Like we're
Mhm.
just like waiting for updates because I think it's like 3 years it's lasting. Like so
Mhm.
that's my really my legal statement. Like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, I cover so many incredible subjects on my channel because of my love and passion for humanity and full disclosure. And there are some people that are just only interested in the ETs and well, they're not going to land and help you, mate. They're not going to land and help us. So while that's all very interesting and very cool, what we need to do is take care of the systems that have corrupted and harmed children like you who are now adults, because we need to stop these cycles and these events. And one of the friends that I interview on my channel, her name is Rachel Vaughan. She's in Australia. Her father took three children off the street. They're called the Beaumont children, and he unalived them with his Masonic pedo friends, buried the children in his garden. And my friend Rachel Vaughan and her family have been yelling and screaming into the wind for years, saying, "Come and dig up our dad's garden. The children are here." Well, they still haven't done it because obviously it's going to expose the cops and the judges and all the authorities that are all complicit in trying to cover it up. But she received a payment from the government proving that she had been brutalized by her father, this long term serial killing pedo. And it opened the floodgates. So these things are starting to happen, is my point of bringing this to your attention. Because too many people now are rising up and saying, no more, no more. Here's what happened. Here's the proof. Here's the documents. Here's other witnesses. But I think in them paying her that money, Rachel Vaughan, that money, it wasn't much. That
yeah,
she'll maybe shut up and won't talk about, hey, there's three children buried here with other children also on this land, and under this cement kiln, and it's insane. But surely the monsters who've done these things for decades, that they've lost. Plus, they're freaking old men, a lot of them now, old
yeah,
doddery, fragile men, the ones that aren't taking Adreno. So like the
yeah,
game's over, boys. Game is over.
oh
And
yeah.
you lose the fear, don't you, against monsters to a point, especially when you're older. I mean, if you got in a room with them now, right?
Well, like now the nightmares are, and I'm dreaming about those nightmares. Like I'm dreaming to have like that moment with them, like 'cause yeah, like
Yeah. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Well, tell us the name of your book again, your website again, and obviously I'll put the details underneath. But let's just tell people directly, how can they get hold of you?
Well, my website is terror@montauk.com. The book is terror@montauk.com, The Last Moments of Campiro. Uh, and yeah, like if people want the truth behind like the series Stranger Thing and like compare, because like there's a lot of stuff like from the series that are like actually taken from my personal story. Like they modified like a bunch of stuff, but like turn it to a like a fairy tale kind of thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, like the base is
Mm,
harder than yeah what they're showing. Like it's the nice Hollywood version, softer,
right.
nicer. Like cause like that place wasn't that nice and like they're all white and no, that was like concrete. But like there's other places that they were bringing kids that were like those places were different. So like, but Montauk was yeah like the worst of the worst. Like
Hmm. In terms of retribution and correct justice for people, disclosing, etc. There was a program um, that was rolled out and is still being rolled out. Like, hold on one second. Okay, so here's what I was going to say. So my friend Tony Rodriguez, who I told you about, who was brutalized by the American military, yeah, and put into programs, space programs, and used as an asset, like you were used as an asset. Um, wow, it's just gone again. Wow, that's crazy. Hold on. So this boy comes out with this big story and got seen, and he was so pushy, Gaia TV and pushing his story. Turns out this boy, this man, made a ton of stuff up. He invented extraterrestrials that never existed. But what he did also is he stole Tony Rodriguez' part of his actual testimony to add to his. And it's so interesting now because the fakeoid boy that wanted to own the story, it's like the energy of all of that fakery. And even though he had the support of, guy, he's completely like, where is he? Where's he gone? Kind of thing. He's, moved away. And Tony Rodriguez is so humble. And, I mean, he's getting a lot more bombastic now. At my last conference, he came on, he was like, "Rah!" I'm like, yes, Tony, yes, because he's been so broken. But he hit something within him watching all these people on stages and disclosure places telling his story, lying,
yeah,
exaggerating or taking a bit. And something just happened inside of him. And he went, "Brah." And what he brought back to the planet was technology that he's reverse engineering to bring to humanity. It's like that's another way that you prove you bring the information, you share the technology, right? There's another way
yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of, show that you are a true, true, true person. And I totally believe you. I believe that you are Duncan Cameron. And I'm really proud to
Thanks.
support you.
Thank you. Because like yeah, the people that like still think that the other one like got off the USS Aldridge jumping off and was yeah,
Hmm. Well,
rethink your thing, please. Because like yeah, that's not making any sense. Like if you use your brain.
yeah,
So
yeah. And again, you just stick to, stay with what's true, what's real,
yeah,
and your,
yeah.
your evidence
I'm
and
not here to talk about aliens or stuff. Like it's not my goal. Aliens are real, but like uh it's not my focus, and I'm not there to show off with that book because I'm actually not like saying anything that like and I have like the interesting life, but like it's not my goal. Like the goal is to expose and like because like every time one of us is dying, they're erasing us and like we never existed. Like we're CIA property.
yeah.
So to put a name on the kids that died and like cause like I lost some friends and like I can't even like find like nothing on them anymore. Like, like it sucks like to be erased like this and like they're heroes like
Hmm.
they like only us know like everything we went through, eh? And yeah, they you know they offered their life like for
Mhm. Well,
so.
they didn't offer it, did they? It was taken from them.
Well, yeah, but like at some point, like like we all signed in when we were kids, but like we didn't know what we were signing in
No,
for,
you were
like
6. You're 6 years old. Of course you don't know, my love. Of course, how could you possibly know? Going to Camp Hero, yay! Gonna sit in an
yeah,
alien chair. It's wicked. It's beyond wicked.
mhm,
Absolutely. Well, like I said, I'm so proud to know you and support you. And next time we come back, we'll have others and
likewise.
we'll keep building and being here for you. All right, my love. Chris Laterreur, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, and to the audience, I know it's really difficult listening to Chris's story. And of course, he's got that wonderful French Canadian accent, which can make things a little tricky. But you just got to tune your ear, hit the CC button, put your headphones in, and we'll get there in the end. We welcome you to ask questions, not in the live chat, only in the comments section. So if there are questions that
Yeah,
you have for Chris, the next time that he comes back, we can answer and go through those questions. We should have done a bit of that today, but we just got into
yeah.
so much again of the evidence.
There's so much to talk about, so yeah.
So much,
But
so much.
thanks.
You're welcome, Chris. Take care. God bless.